Hi, and welcome to Once Upon a Nightmare. I'm your host, Amy Metcalf.
And I'm your other host, Ashley Dory, and welcome to today's nightmare.
So, tonight we will be talking about probably one of the scariest things you could ever talk about, and that is children, specifically children who are serial killers. So, as we spoke about regular adult serial killers last time, we are
Plain
going to
old
talk about
serial killers.
little itty bitties, little children. Um, they're pretty scary, even without being serial killers. Like, let's be honest.
Kids are terrifying.
They are. They really are. So sit back
Grab your snacks.
and let's get started.
Woo. Oh, my Lord.
Yeah.
It's been a week.
It's been a day. It's been a month and it's not even over yet.
It's Tuesday, isn't it? It is Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. We are
this.
filming late because it was Thanksgiving weekend here in Canada.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. We were enjoying our turkey.
Well, we had a pot roast dinner.
We did turkey. It was
beautiful.
Had
a turkey. I was ready to film on Sunday. Somebody just had a turkey coma.
Listen, I was up early cooking a whole ass turkey dinner.
And I also turned 33 on Saturday. So it was not a weekend to film. It was so not
depressed being as old as I am now.
Yeah. I kept telling her that I was going to be as old as she was soon. She wasn't very happy with that.
Listen.
That's exactly what she said to me. Listen here.
It is what it is. We all have to age.
Yeah. And apparently in our 30s, we hit our second puberty. Are you ready for that?
You can tell by the giant zit on the side of my face. It like appeared out of nowhere.
Honestly, I never really got pimples as much in high school as much as like other kids, which is, I was lucky.
Terrible acne.
I had awful hair. What I lacked in acne, I lacked in fashion sense.
Listen, we all made some terrible choices. I mean, I permed my hair one year.
I freaking like gelled my hair down. Like it was not moving.
That was the thing though. I found in like the 2000s, like late 90s into the 2000s, a lot of girls with curly hair just like piled on the hair gel and it just looked wet
all the time. Or and like depending on the gel, I would get like these, like when it dried, I get like flakies. So it looked like I had so much dandruff, which was really gross. Yeah. But it was actually just dried clumps of hair gel. Now, I still do use hair gel in my hair now, but I don't put as much on. As you can see, like I have like this little curl that's coming out of my hair. But guess what? I don't care anymore.
The only thing that I use, and my hair is like a mix, it's so weighed down and heavy that like the curls being pulled. Yeah. But, like all I use on my hair is just a curl spray after I get out of the shower and a curl gel. Like it's a nourishing oil gel. So it's not quite hair gel, but it forms your curls more, better. That's a terrible sentence to string together. More better.
See, my hair is just so frizzy. It's really bad. My hair is really bad.
Yeah.
It's got a mind of its own, but
that's curly hair.
Fun.
I might get like one or two really good days of like quote unquote good hair, because you never really know. Like the first day out of the shower, my hair usually goes like super poofy because it's just been washed and conditioned, so it's like curl central. And then as time goes on, it gets like my hair's not dirty, but like it's been slept on. It's been, up in a messy bun. So it's not perfect, but it's still
beaten by children.
It's still good hair. It's salvageable hair.
See, I wash my hair every day because of the product that I put in my hair, and don't come at me. Listen, I get it. It's not good. But the thing is, you got to understand, I have to put product in my hair and I have sensitive skin. I have to wash my hair every day. I'm sorry. I try not to, like on weekends. I probably won't. Like, actually, I just like brushed my hair out today and then put a little more product in. But other than that, like I usually wash my hair every day. Sometimes I'll try not to, but oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. That's why it stays up like this. Even then, I'm like, ugh.
It's funny because I gave you shit not that long ago because I was like, girl, you cannot, because I only wash my hair once a week. That's all my hair gets. Because I follow the curly girl method, which I went through. My hair has gone through phases. It didn't really start getting curly until after I had my daughter. And then the hormones and everything changed my hair again and it went curly. So I was like, all right, this is what we're working with. But for the longest time, I would just straighten it. So I had to go through a like phase of really gross hair because your hair has to get used to like not being washed and
yeah. And I get that. And it's like, but you and I have different types of curls. Like I have like crazy curly hair. And it's so funny because like I never had curly hair when I was young. Like I had nice wavy hair. My hair didn't start getting curly until like my mom started cutting my hair short because there were so many lice outbreaks in my schools. And it's not that I have thick hair, but like, remember when we were getting our hair done for your wedding and the hairdresser was like, it's not that she has thick hair, it's she has a lot of hair. So it was hard to always get the comb through my hair and all that stuff. So I think that's what partially got my hair to this point, but I'm over it.
I'm still learning. Like I said, I got thick hair. And mind you, when I was a little girl, my hair was beautiful. I had this like long blonde, like platinum blonde ringlet hair. Like my hair was just natural ringlets. And my mom, God love her, she decided she didn't want to brush my hair anymore because it was down to my ass and it was long and curly. So she chopped it. And when she chopped it, I lost all my curls. And then this is what I'm left with. 30 years later, a hot curly, straight, wavy, poofy mess.
Yeah. But I think we're like so off topic.
We are so definitely off topic.
We're not even talking about children. We're talking about hair.
Hey, people can relate to hair. Kids have hair.
People who don't have hair. Maybe we have bald listeners who are like really jealous of us right now.
Well, I apologize. If you want to feel what
not everybody has hair.
There's wigs.
Jesus. So
sometimes I wish
I'm going to start today. We'll start out with the girls. So again, we did girls, one girl and one guy each. And this little girl, her name is Mary Flora Bell. So Mary Bell was born in May of 1957. So she's like a year older than what my mom would have been. And when her unwed, I hate how they worded this, but like I get that it was a different time. But when her unwed, mentally unstable mother was herself a child of 17, though Betty Bell would subsequently wed the baby's father, marriage did not guarantee a stable home. Mary's father was frequently out of work, occasionally in trouble with the law, and Betty, for her part, frequently left her daughter with relatives or acquaintances, once giving the child to a woman she met on the street outside an abortion clinic. Oh, well, that's great. The Bell home in Newcastle, England, was filthy and sparsely furnished. At school, Mary became known as a chronic liar and disruptive pupil. On occasion, she voiced her desire to hurt people. That's not a bad sign at all.
Oh, no.
I don't know what's going by, but I think it's a truck of some sort. I don't know if you can hear it. You can definitely see the lights. It must be the fire truck. I hope it's not disrupting. So the cruel urge surfaced on May 11th, 1968, when Mary and Norma Bell, which she has no relation to Mary, were playing with a 3-year-old boy on top of a Newcastle air raid shelter. The boy fell and was severely injured, but the incident was written off as accidental. On May 12th, the mothers of 3 young girls informed police that Mary had attacked and choked their children. She was interviewed and lectured by authorities, but no juvenile charges were filed. On May 25th, 2 boys playing in an old abandoned house found the corpse of 4-year-old Martin Brown lying in an upstairs room. Mary and Norma Bell had followed the boys inside and had to be ordered out when police arrived. With no obvious cause of death, it was assumed that Martin Brown had swallowed pills from a discarded bottle found nearby. On May 26th, Norma Bell's father caught Mary choking his 11-year-old daughter. He slapped her face and sent her home. Different times, people, different times. Later that day, a local nursery school was vandalized. Police discovered notes that read, F off, we murder, watch out, Fanny and FAGGOT. I don't really want to say it myself. And we did murder Martin Brown. F off, you bastard. 4 days later, Mary Bell appeared at the Brown residence asking to see Martin. Reminded of the tragedy, she told his grieving mother, "Oh, I know he's dead. I wanted to see him in his coffin." This girl is terrifying. Like, I actually have like chills, like even reading this.
Oh, I think I remember seeing a documentary about this girl. Okay, keep going.
On May 31st, a newly installed burglar alarm at the vandalized nursery school brought patrolmen rushing back to the scene, where they found Mary and Norma Bell loitering beside the building. Both girls fervently denied involvement in the previous break-in, and they were released to the custody of their parents. 2 months elapsed before the disappearance of 3-year-old Brian Howe in Newcastle. An immediate search was mounted, and Mary Bell told Brian's sister that he might be playing on a heap of concrete blocks that had been dumped out on a nearby vacant lot. In fact, he was discovered there among the tumbled slabs, but he was dead, a victim of manual strangulation, legs and stomach mutilated with a razor and a pair of scissors that police recovered at the scene.
Dang, girl.
A medical examiner suggested that the killer might have been a child, since relatively little force was used. Detectives started circulating questionnaires among the local children, asking suspects to account for their movements at the time of Brian's death. Answers from Mary and Norma Bell were inconsistent, and both girls were brought in for questioning. While Mary claimed that she had seen an older boy abusing Brian, Norma soon broke down and told of watching Mary kill the boy. At trial in December 1968, Norma was acquitted of all charges, while Mary Bell was convicted on 2 counts of manslaughter. Described by court psychiatrists as intelligent, manipulative, and dangerous, Mary proved herself a problem inmate. In 1970, she fabricated charges of indecent assault against one of her warders, but the man was acquitted in court. In September 1977, she escaped from Moore Court Open Prison with another inmate, but the runaways were captured 3 days later. In the meantime, they had met two boys with whom they spent the night, a circumstance that placed the egocentric Mary back in tabloid headlines, offering a blow-by-blow account of how she gave up her virginity. Oh.
Okay.
So her conviction on December 17th, 1968 at Newcastle Assizes, I don't know. Norma Bell was acquitted, but Mary Bell was convicted, as I said, of manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility, the jury taking their lead from her diagnosis by court-appointed psychiatrists who described her as displaying classic symptoms of psychopathy. The judge, Mr. Justice Cusack, described her as dangerous and said she posed a very grave risk to the other children. She was sentenced to be detained at Her Majesty's pleasure, effectively an indefinite sentence of imprisonment. She was initially sent to Red Bank Secure Unit in St. Helens, Lancashire, the same facility that would house John Venables, one of James Bogle's child killers 25 years later. After her conviction, Bell was the focus of a great deal of attention from the British press and also from the German Stern magazine. Her mother repeatedly sold stories about her to the press and often gave reporters writings she claimed to be Mary's. What a lovely mom. Bell herself made headlines when in September 1977, she briefly absconded from Moore Court, which again, where she had been held since her transfer from a young offenders institution to an adult prison a year earlier. Her penalty for this was a loss of prison privileges for 28 days.
That's it.
My God. For a time, Bell also lived in a girls' remand home at Cumberlow Lodge in South Norwood, in a house built by Victorian inventor William Stanley. In 1980, Bell, aged 23, was released from Askham Grange Open Prison. Having served 12 years, she was granted anonymity. Wow. It's been a long day. Including a new name to start a new life with her daughter, who was born on May 25th, 1984. Bell's daughter did not know of her mother's past until Bell's location was discovered by reporters, and she and her mother had to leave their house with bed sheets over their heads. Bell's daughter's anonymity, this is a very hard word.
It is a very hard word.
Was originally protected only until she reached the age of 18. However, on the 21st of May in 2003, Bell won a high court battle to have her own anonymity and that of her daughter extended for life. Any court order permanently protecting the identity of someone is consequently known as a Mary Bell order. In 2009, it was reported that Bell had become a grandmother.
What?
It's so crazy. It's so crazy to me that this person, like this child, was given such a crazy diagnosis of like psychotic behavior, and she was freed. People. She only spent 12 years in prison, and then she was let go. Like, I don't get it. I really, really don't get it.
And then granted
anonymity. We'll just go with anonymity.
Like
I get giving the daughter,
grant her I can't even say that word. I'm not even going to try. Grant her being unknown to the public. Like, but Mary Beth, exactly. she killed multiple kids and was like, yeah, I did it.
With no care in the world. No remorse, no care.
Nope.
Like, she didn't care. And then she gets to be free and have a life.
She gets to be free and become a mom.
It's almost like the Carla Homolka thing. Like she has the same thing. She was given anonymity. She lives in Montreal or somewhere in Quebec. I'm pretty sure it's around Montreal area.
She's been seen in Montreal, has kids. I think.
I can't remember if it's Montreal, but she lives around like this area and my area.
She lives in Canada.
She lives in Canada and she has kids.
We know she here.
She goes to her kids' school. Like, which parents did find out about her being around and they lost their minds. Oh, which God, I don't blame them. I don't blame them because she was eventually like told, well, they eventually were like, oh yeah, she's pretty psychotic too. But that wasn't until after she fooled them and after she got her sentence. Mm-hmm. So, and then they're like, oh shit, maybe she is really psychotic.
Yeah, there's a lot of psychotic kids out there. There was a list to choose from.
There always is.
So the young child that I chose for our female, her name is Jasmine Richardson. Mm-hmm. She murdered 3 of her family members in Medicine Hat, Alberta, in Canada in April. Medicine Hat, Alberta, Canada in April of 2006. So this is actually pretty recent. The murders were planned and committed by the family's 12-year-old daughter, Jasmine Richardson, and her 23-year-old boyfriend, Jeremy Stank, now going by the name Jackson May.
So wait, this 23-year-old man was dating a 12-year-old girl.
Yes, ma'am. You heard that right. You heard that correct. He was a pedophile.
Ew. Ew.
Richardson and Stank were each convicted on 3 counts of first-degree murder. Richardson, who had turned 13 before being convicted, is thought to be the youngest person in Canada ever convicted of multiple first-degree murder counts. Her 10-year sentence was completed on May 6, 2016. So she is now out and about and somewhere in Canada.
Probably with her 11 plus year old boyfriend.
Her daddy.
Oh my God.
So I'll go into a little bit about what her and what's he go by now? What is it? Jackson May. At 1 p.m. on April 23rd, 2006, the bodies of husband Mark Richardson, 42, the wife Deborah, 48, were found in the basement of their home, and the body of their son, Tyler Jacobs, 8 years old, was discovered upstairs. Absent from the home at the time was the couple's 12-year-old daughter, Jasmine. For a time, it was feared that she might have been a victim, but she was arrested the following day in the community of Leader, Saskatchewan, about 130 kilometers away, with her 23-year-old boyfriend, Jeremy Allen Stank. Both were charged with 3 murders. Later on May 3rd, 2006. Later on May 3rd, 2006, Stank's friend Casey Lancaster, who was 19, was charged with being an accessory for driving them away in her pickup later in the day and disposing of evidence. According to friends of Jasmine, Richardson's parents had punished her for dating him due to the age gap. Her parents disapproved of her dating a 23-year-old.
With reason.
Her friends had also criticized their relationship. So she had her parents and her friends being like, bitch, no.
Listen, you're only 12. You have time.
He is not the man of your dreams, girl.
He just
wait. It gets better, because shortly after her arrest, Stank asked her to marry him and she agreed. According to friends of Stein, he told them he was a 300-year-old vampire. He allegedly told his friends that he liked the taste of blood and wore a small vial of blood around his neck. He also had a user account on vampirefreaks.com. The girl had a page at the same site, leading to speculation that they had met there. However, an acquaintance of Steinck later said that the couple actually met at a punk rock show in early 2006. What was she doing at 10 years old at a punk rock show by herself? Parents, I have questions. The couple were also found to be communicating at Nexopia, a popular website for young Canadians. Various messages they sent to each other were available to the public before the accounts were removed by Nexopia staff. Richardson's...
I don't remember that.
There's a fly in here. Richardson's user page under the name Runaway Devil falsely said she was 15 and ended the text, "Welcome to my tragic end." Just hours prior to committing the murder, Steinck and some friends reportedly watched the 94 film Natural Born Killers about a young couple who go on a violent killing spree. Steinck told his friends that he and his girlfriend should go about their plans in a similar manner, but without sparing her little brother. Steinck also said to an undercover officer, "You ever watch the movie Natural Born Killers? I think that's the best love story of all time."
What is
so?
I have like a lot of questions.
I got one more thing to go through, and then we will go through some questions.
Okay. I have other reasons.
Under the Youth Criminal Justice Act, Richardson's name could no longer be published in Canada after she became a suspect. Under the same act, 12 is the youngest possible age at which a person can be charged with a crime. Convicts who were under 14 years of age at the time they committed a crime cannot be sentenced as adults and cannot be given more than a 10-year sentence. On July 9th, 2007, Richardson, who had by then turned 13, was found guilty of 3 counts of first-degree murder in the killings. She is believed to be the youngest person ever convicted of multiple murders in Canada. On November 8th, 2007, she was sentenced to the maximum penalty of 10 years imprisonment. Her sentence included credit for 18 months already spent in custody, to be followed by 4 years in a psychiatric institution and 4.5 years under conditional supervision in the community. In September of 2011, as a social worker, you know exactly what this means. In September 2011, Richardson began attending classes at Mount Royal University in Calgary, Alberta. During the final years of her sentence, she was released from a 10-year sentence at a psychiatric hospital in the fall of 2011. And in October of 2012, it was reported her rehabilitation was going well, and she expressed remorse for her actions that experts considered genuine. In May 2016, her sentence was completed and she was freed of any further court-ordered conditions, restrictions, or supervisions after a final review on May 6, 2016. Jeremy Steinck admitted to the murder of the parents in conversation with an undercover police officer while in custody. So proud of himself, he had to just say it. He was tried in November 2008 and found guilty by a jury on 3 counts of first-degree murder for the killings of the 3 Richardson victims. On December 15, 2008, Steinck was also sentenced to 3 life sentences, one for each first-degree murder count. The sentences are to be served concurrently, and Steinck will be eligible for parole after serving 25 years. So he will be in his 50s by the time all this would have already happened, but chances are he's not getting out. He thought he was a 300-year-old vampire. Come on. Casey Lancaster, the accessory to murder charge against the couple's friend Casey Lancaster, was dropped, and she pleaded guilty to obstruction charge in Medicine Hat Provincial Court. She received 1-year house arrest as part of the plea bargain and was ordered to refrain from drugs and alcohol. So that's all she got. Yeah, so
that now my question is, was it real remorse or was she able to fabricate it? Because I find that people, even if they learn how to, because like, okay, so you know how like you and I like go day to day, and like I'm gonna say I have depression, and there are days where I'm like, oh, like I don't want to deal with life, but I'm just sitting there like, hey, like I'm so happy, and nobody can tell the difference.
Yep.
Now, I'm sure, because girls are really good at masking and
Very
girls are
well.
really good at faking. And I guarantee you there was no remorse. Guarantee you.
It's hard to say because maybe she had been groomed by him. She was only
Yes.
12.
Yes.
And
But
he could have, and I mean, it could have very well been one of those situations where she felt, and I'm not excusing her behavior because what she did help kill her mom, dad, and brother. You know, she killed her family.
what did the
However,
brother have to do with it?
uh, however, she was only 12 and he was 23 years old. He very well knew what he was doing. He very well could have groomed her and like made her believe all these things because she was just a baby. At 12, you are just a baby. It's gross.
I don't know.
Like if it hadn't have included him and it had have just been her, you know what I mean? And it was just her that was like, I'm unhappy with my life, and he wasn't included at all in the sequence or in like the way it went down. Do you know what I mean? Maybe like Mary Beth. She didn't have anybody else giving her a second hand being like, hey.
No, I know. I just don't think like even if you're groomed and you're like, hey, I don't like that you're telling me that my boyfriend isn't good enough because he's so much older than me.
But like, do you remember being 12 and being in love?
Not with a 23-year-old.
Okay, well, maybe not with a 23-year-old, but at that age, those feelings are so enormous. Like you think that it's this, he accepts me and he knows me and I love him and we're going to get married. And oh, she's got this fantasy in her head of who he is as a person. And then her family is like, bitch, he's 23. Like he is 11 years older than you. This is not going to happen. You are a child. And her friends are like, girl, and then she's like, well, he's the only one that understands me. And then, so maybe I'm not, like I said, I'm not downplaying what she did. However, after years in counseling and therapy and going through what she needed to go through, she could have genuine.
She could have.
She could. Again, and I'm not saying that it is actual genuine. I'm just, we gotta, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm so stumped. Debate both points. You know what I mean?
No, and I know, but like again, like you said, like if she had gone through all those years of, you tend to learn what people want to hear so you can get what you want. Yeah. So obviously she wanted out, but like I don't know. I kids, man.
I would like to hope that it was genuine, like empathy and genuine.
I would hope so, but the fact that she could even think about like doing that to her own family.
But the thing is, she's not even the first girl in history that's ever done that. Like it's for an older guy too, which is
no. And that's my thing. Like if you, I don't know, it's such a touchy subject because like the majority of people who have the idea and have the capabilities of killing somebody and just doing it, to me it's like you obviously had such a rage inside of you that you had like it's so hard to explain. Like the only like when we were talking about how with postpartum and that, like that's a different thing, and I do understand like mental health plays into it a lot, and a lot of people, yeah, they do have some remorse depending on like what's at play. But like it's still it's so awful that a girl so young could do something like that just because they didn't want her dating a guy 11 years older than her. And also the club thing, she probably told them that she was going to a friend's house and didn't go to a friend's house. Like,
or she
how many
genuinely
times did
said,
you
I
go?
want to go to the concert, and her parents let her. And then she met, because I mean, that was back in the day when parents would let their kids actually do stuff with them.
That's true. My godparents never let me go to anything cool like that. And but we were also like in our teens when we were in 2006.
Yeah.
But my
Well, we would
godparents
have been graduating high school in 2006.
Were we graduating high school in 2000? I don't remember what year we graduated from.
We graduated high school in 2006. We
Okay.
are
Well,
old.
that's not, well, I already told them my age. Let's not age ourselves even more. But like I remember Christina, our friend Christina, she wanted me, I forget who was supposed to go, but she was like, oh, do you want to come and like we'll like to get concert tickets and we're gonna camp out and it's gonna be in Toronto. And like I was like so for it, and my godmother was like, no you ain't. And I'm like, but everybody else is.
I remember so the big thing with my parents, it wasn't concerts. I wanted to go with Laura and Candace and Shamanda to the all ages club in Scarborough. So I had begged my parents. I was like, please. And my mom's like, no, you are not going to a club. You're 12. So I was like,
oh, this was before I came. Like, was it when we were 12? When you were 12?
I don't know where you were, but it was me, Laura, and Candace. And do you remember Shamanda?
Yeah, but I thought she came when we were in high school.
No, we were younger. We were like preteens. But
if it was preteens, I wasn't there. I was still in Mississauga. But because I didn't go to,
it might have been, well, because I moved when I was 15 on Nova Scotia. So
yeah, I didn't go to Erin until I was 13.
Anyways, that's probably why then.
Yeah.
But so I begged my parents and I was like, please, 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 like Laura's mom's gonna be there, like she's not leaving us. And they were like, no. They went so far as to like there was no, we were in high school. I was in grade 9 because Randy, the police officer that used to like patrol the high school.
Officer Randy.
Yes. My parents were friends with Officer Randy, so they got him to come talk to me about the dangers of nightclubs.
Especially in Scarborough.
I still went.
I'm surprised Shamanda's mom actually let her go. Because her mom was pretty tough too.
She was pretty good.
Laura had the cool mom.
Laura did have the cool mom that did all the cool things.
I love her mom. If you're listening, Jen, I miss you. I loved her.
So we got boys up next.
Yeah.
Our demented little boys.
Oh God. Did you want to go first or did you want me to?
I got mine up, so I can go. That's not an issue.
I got mine too. I can go. I just remembered you just went, so I can go. So this boy, his name is Craig Chandler Price, the youngest U.S. serial killer of the archives. Craig was known as the Slasher of Warwick after a brutal series of killings in Rhode Island in the late 1980s. Craig, a Black youth from a working class family, is believed to have committed his first murder when he was only 13 years old. The victim was a white female from his neighborhood whom he peeped on dozens of occasions. He stabbed her to death with one of her kitchen knives after breaking into her house. The murder went unsolved until a few months after Craig's second killing frenzy, which took place almost 2 years later, when he was 15. The victims were a white female and her 2 daughters. The slashings were so similar to his first known kill that the FBI was called in to profile a serial killer. They failed to finger a 15-year-old black male as their suspect. It took an observant detective who noticed Craig with a big cut on his hand to crack the case. He admitted to committing the murders without any persuasion, and according to the FBI, goes down in history as the youngest serial killer in U.S. history. So his history, so he was born in 1974. He's from Warwick, Rhode Island. He was arrested in 1989 for 4 murders committed in his neighborhood. Like I said, it was a woman and her 2 daughters that year, and the murder of another woman 2 years prior. He had a previous criminal record for petty theft. After he was discovered, Price calmly confessed to his crimes. It's kind of bad when it's calm. Arrested a month before his 16th birthday, he was tried and convicted as a minor. By law, this meant that he would be released and his criminal record sealed as soon as he turned 21. Price bragged that he would make history when he was released. The case led to changes in state law to allow juveniles to be tried as adults for serious crimes, but these could not be applied retroactively to Price. Due to the brutality of his crimes and the opinion of state psychologists that he was a poor candidate for rehabilitation, a group called Citizens Opposed to the Release of Craig Price formed to lobby for his continued imprisonment. Price was charged with a variety of crimes, including criminal contempt for refusing a psychological evaluation, extortion for threatening a corrections officer, and assault in violation of probation for fights while in prison. He was sentenced to an additional 10 to 25 years, depending on his cooperation with treatment. Price maintains that he has paid his debt to society and that he is being kept in jail partially due to racism.
No, you killed so many people.
Like, you have this kid had no remorse for whatever he did.
None
at all. Anyway, so on July 29, 2009, Price was involved in a prison fight with another inmate. While trying to break up the fight, one of the correctional officers was stabbed in the finger by a handmade shank in Price's possession. In the wake of the prison fight, Price had been transferred to another facility. An officer from the Rhode Island Department of Corrections said Price has been booked twice for fighting since leaving the adult correctional institutions in Cranston. Price was recently denied parole in March, and his current good time release date is in April 2020. Wall, however, which was last year, of course, at the beginning of COVID, Wall, however, said that date may change after his recent behavior. So he does remain, I believe, in prison. Saturday, December 15th, 2007, they called him Iron Man, a hulking teenage football player with a baby face and winsome smile who lived with his parents in a small ranch house in the Buttonwood section of town. Then one summer night in 1987, Craig Price crept across his neighbor's yard, broke into a little brown house on Inez Avenue, and stabbed Rebecca Spencer 58 times. Jesus. She was a 27-year-old mother of 2, and he was 13. So, like, this kid, man.
Boy, you are demented.
Yeah.
It's not about racism. It is that you are unstable.
Like, I definitely do believe that in a lot of cases against some like not even males, like males and females of color, specifically males, because it's the stereotype. And not even just like Black males, but like Muslim, Hispanic. Yeah, exactly. Like police do tend to target them the most because of that stereotype that everybody has put out. Yep. But when you have at 13 and 15 years old killed 4 people, It has nothing to do with race at this point. They're just trying to make sure that you don't do it again.
When at 13 years old, you violently stab a grown woman almost 30 times, my dude.
After like creeping on her for a while prior
You know,
to,
and
then calmly admitted to your killings and said that you were going to go down in history when like you got out. Of course they're going to try and keep you in. Like, you obviously have no remorse. You don't care for the life of somebody else, and it's like, what are they going to do? Let you free so you can kill some more people?
Yeah, like, that's what he expected. I think he's like, well, I did it when I was young, so I'll be able to get away with it. And then
it's all about the notoriety. A lot of them want the notoriety, right?
Yeah.
So he figured, I guess, 4 people wasn't enough. He needed a little more to get his notoriety, so he can be the next Jeffrey Dahmer or whatever. So Price has actually written many letters over the years to judges and prison officials and the media complaining about his incarceration. Long ago, he says he paid his debt for his juvenile crimes. The state was effectively organized not to rehabilitate me, but to incarcerate me. Price said in court in 2004, they were looking for anything to lock me up. Many felt that was true, but that the state had no other choice, which is true. We had a unique combination of the state's most heinous crimes committed by one of its youngest criminals, Pine says. It was a chaotic, emotional time, and I think we did a good job of making the system work. There is no doubt that Price left a lasting legacy on the juvenile justice system in Rhode Island. Today, a 15-year-old serial killer would immediately be referred to adult court and likely sentenced to life without parole. There are currently 10 juveniles imprisoned or awaiting trial in the Adult Correctional Center. Wow. Price himself ended up in court many more times for assault, violation, and probation, and various appeals. In 2004, he was transferred to the Florida Department of Corrections as part of a routine interstate transfer. Florida prison officials refused to allow him to be interviewed, citing security reasons. Price's current scheduled release date is December 2020. He will be 46. So that was his current release date as of that one. I don't think he has been released. This is a very long article and we'll be here forever. So I'm just going to scroll through quickly. Yeah, so here we go. In October 1998, 7 more years were added to Craig's sentence for assaulting correctional officer. It would not be his last time in February 1999. And again, in October 2001, Craig was sentenced to a total of 4 more years for, again, verbally and physically assaulting correctional officers. To date, there is no telling exactly when Craig Price will ever be released from prison. His projected release date is scheduled for February 2022. I can't read. However, some don't expect Craig will be released until well after the date because of his continuing volatile behavior towards prison guards. Many Rhode Islanders prefer it that way. I don't blame them.
Not mentally stable.
No, he's not. I'm waiting. When is it going to be hey, you keep doing this, you got life. We're not just going to add 4 years here and 2 years there. We're going to add life because, dude, you can't stop.
You can't. Why are we going to let you out, man?
Why are we going to let you out if you're going to continuously assault people?
Right.
Because okay, if he wasn't being stalked by other officers in the jail, he would probably murder those guys too, or even the other prisoners, the other inmates. I'm guaranteeing you, he would have murdered all of them if he could.
Oh yeah.
But because he keeps getting stopped, he doesn't get that chance, and it's just assault.
Yeah.
So guaranteed he doesn't have he has his own little cell. He's isolated.
He's probably spent a whole lot of time in isolation.
Yeah.
honestly.
Which sucks. Which in retrospect does suck, and it doesn't help. But honestly, it's probably the best for a lot of people.
I mean, isolation is going to make you go crazier in the long run.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand. And then for him to get mad and be like, it's a race thing. Is it though? Is it though? I mean, sometimes I would argue that yes, it is. But in your case, is it though, friend?
If it was a race thing, like I feel like it would have been like in such a dramatic way as like, well, not dramatic, sorry. It's very hard to word this because I don't want I'm not racist. I love everybody. And it's just, if it was a racial situation, they would have been a lot more aggressive towards him when arresting him.
Oh my God, yeah, they would have beaten the crap out of him.
Exactly.
That sounds awful to say, but it's the God's honest truth. And majority of the time when a man of color is arrested, he is literally shit kicked. Like he's got the shit kicked out of him by the police.
Yeah, they've got him pinned down, they can't breathe, or they shoot thinking they have a gun when they really don't have a gun. Right. And it's like they just assumed he had a gun. Mm-hmm. And it's so sad. Like I've heard so many of those stories, and it just breaks my heart. Like this is why I don't really read or watch the news, because it really bugs the shit out of me. And I'm like, if we just loved each other, like the world would be such a better place.
It would be fantastic if that was the case, but
we need the drama. Apparently,
humans thrive off of it.
We're awful people. Humanity is awful.
So the person that I chose, it's kind of two people. It involves two people, but we'll focus on one person. Okay. Well, I mean, it involves two people.
Well, I can't. It was kind of like it was like my Mary Bell one. She had Norma Bell who helped. Yeah.
I can't really only focus on one and exclude the other because it wouldn't make sense in this case. So
no.
The subject that I chose for this one was the West Side school shooting. It happened on March 24th of 1998 at West Side Middle School in unincorporated Craighead County, Arkansas, near the city of Jonesboro. Perpetrators Mitchell Johnson, 13, and Andrew Golden, who was only 11 at the time, fatally shot 4 students and a teacher with multiple weapons. Both were arrested when they attempted to flee the scene. 10 others were wounded. Golden and Johnson were convicted of 5 murders and 10 assaults, and were imprisoned until each turned 21 years of age. After the Cleveland Elementary School shooting in Stockton, California, the massacre was the second deadliest non-college school shooting in contemporary U.S. history until the 1999 Columbine High School massacre. On the night before the shooting, Golden assisted Johnson in loading his mother's Dodge Caravan with camping supplies, snack foods, 9 weapons, a Remington 742 30-06 rifle, Universal .30 M1 carbine replica, a Ruger .44 Magnum rifle, a Smith & Wesson .38 special revolver, a double deuce buddy, a .22 caliber 2-shot Derringer, a .380 pistol, a Star .380 pistol, a Ruger Security 6.357 revolver, Davis Industries .38 2-shot Derringer, and a Charter Arms .38 special revolver, which had been stolen from Golden's grandfather's house, and also 2,000 rounds of ammunition. That was a lot.
Wow.
The following morning, the boys rode the van to the school, arriving late after deliberately missing their bus. After they arrived, Golden pulled the fire alarm just after 12:30 p.m. during the beginning of 5th period, while Johnson took the weapons to the woods outside of the school. Golden then ran back to the woods where Johnson had taken the weapons. When children and teachers were filed out of the school, the 2 boys opened fire, with officials stating that the shooting began at 12:41 p.m. During the incident, many became confused initially with reports of shouting, it's all fake, as friends of wounded tried to evacuate their friends, and teacher Shannon Wright used her body to protect a wounded student. Another teacher had been checking off students on her class list when she heard pops like firecrackers and thought it was an ill-advised attempt to frighten the children to potentially make them take the drill more seriously. A student reported that the sounds were at first dismissed by some as construction workers who had been working on the fifth grade building nearby. Students who had initially evacuated for the drill were brought back into the school's gymnasium, where students could hear the bullets ricocheting off the outside bricks and walls. Some victims were brought back inside by uninjured students and teachers after a teacher opened the doors from the inside, as they had automatically locked because of the fire alarm. A student who had sought shelter in the school told a teacher with them that they believed the shooter was Mitchell Johnson, and they had been told by him not to come to school that day. They killed 4 students and 1 teacher and wounded 9 students and another teacher. The 5 murdered were Shannon Wright, 32, Stephanie Johnson, 12, no relation to Mitchell Johnson, Natalie Brooks, 11. I'm going to cry reading this. Paige Herring, 12, and Brittany Varner, 11, just because I have a 10-year-old who's going to be 11 in like months. It's going to make me cry. That's awful. All those injured survived their injuries, and among the wounded students was Tristan McGowan, Golden's cousin. Golden and Johnson attempted to run back to the van to escape, but were later caught by the police. They were apprehended about 10 minutes after the shooting began, according to a lieutenant with the Jonesboro Police Department. The boys evidently planned to run away, as they had food, sleeping bags, and survival gear in the van. As the incident was the 3rd fatal multiple shooting at an American school since October of 1997. Following the Pearl High School shooting and the Heath High School shooting, then President Clinton ordered Attorney General Janet Reno to organize experts on school violence to analyze the recent incidents and determine what they may have had in common and what steps should be taken to reduce the chance of a similar incident. Didn't really work. Janet Reno. Columbine happened. White ribbons were tied on the tree trunks, and other objects were left in memory of the victims. The school installed a memorial bench outside that is carved with the date of the massacre. A sundown memorial installed in a park area behind the school is engraved with the names of the victims. The park area was designed as a memorial park based around the number 5 to commemorate the 5 dead victims, with 5 trees, 5 picnic tables, and 5 stepping stones along with the sundial. During the trial, Johnson hung his head and read a letter of apology he had written to the victims' families. He said he had not been targeting anyone. While in detention awaiting trial, Johnson wrote a letter that stated, "Hi, my name is Mitchell. My thoughts and prayers are with those who were killed or shot and their families. I am really sad inside about everything. My thoughts and prayers are with those kids that I go to school with. I really want people to know the real Mitchell someday. Sincerely, Mitchell Johnson." Due to their age, they were tried as juveniles and found guilty of 5 counts of murder. Following their convictions, Johnson and Golden were taken to a National Guard helicopter to Alexander, Arkansas, so they could be placed in the Arkansas Juvenile Assessment and Treatment Center. The Arkansas Department of Human Services Youth Services Division, oh my God, that's a fucking name, Division's juvenile facility, and the state's most secure juvenile facility. That is a title. The 2 youths were among the youngest people ever charged with murder in the United States. The Jonesboro prosecutor later stated that if it were not for their ages, he would have sought death sentences. In August of 98, both boys were sentenced to confinement until they reached the age of 21, which was the maximum sentence available under the Arkansas law. They would have served until age 18 had federal authorities not added additional confinement for weapons charges. Judge Ralph Wilson commented, "This is a case where the punishment will not fit the crime." The case led to wide public outcry for tougher sentencing laws pertaining to juvenile offenders. Johnson was released in 2005 and Golden was released in 2007. The victims' families were awarded $150 million after filing a lawsuit against Johnson and Golden, seeking damages to prevent the 2 from profiting from the shooting. So any monetary gain from the mention of the shooting went strictly to the victims' families, which beautiful. So Andrew Golden is dead. Yes, he died. He was born May 25th, 1986, and he did end up dying July 27th, 2019. He came from a very stable household, apparently, with a good relationship with both of his parents, regularly visited by grandparents and great grandparents. Both of his parents were postal workers, and his grandfather, Douglas Golden, was a wildlife conservator in Jonesboro. Mitchell Johnson, however, is still very much alive to this day. He is a former member of the Central Baptist Church Youth Choir, joining the youth group at the Revival Tabernacle Church in Jonesboro. Following the shooting, he was claimed that he had been sexually abused when he was 6 and 7 by a family member of the daycare where he was placed. 1 year before the shooting, Mitchell, then age 12, was charged with molesting a 3-year-old girl while visiting southern Minnesota with his family. However, the record of the case was expunged because of his age. So that kid had a lot of issues. It continued right up until, today, I guess. He's still alive. So he died when he was 30. Andrew, however, died when he was 33 years old. So, and it's a little scary because he was born in 86. So he's only 2 years older than us.
Yeah. Like, when it comes to people who are like so close to our age, it's like so scary. Like when they,
so would you like to know
only
how
when
he
they
died?
die, but when they commit murders and all this other stuff, and it's like so scary.
Would you like to know how he died, though? So Andrew Douglas Golden died on July 27, 2019, after a 2013 Chevy Tahoe departed its lane, crashing head on into his 2017 CRV on Route 167 in Independence County, Arkansas, near Cave City, Arkansas, 100 miles north of Little Rock. The Chevy driver, identified as Daniel Petty, 59, of Essex, Missouri, was also killed in the crash. 3 other people, including Golden's wife, another adult, and his son, were injured and taken to a hospital. At the time of his death, Golden was said to be living in Jackson, Missouri. So he was 33, married with a child. It also boggles my mind when these people that do these things get married and have kids. Like,
it really does.
Find somebody.
It really does. Like, again, like with the Carla Homolka, then the Mary Bell, like they got to get out and they got to have a life as if they were normal people that did normal everyday things and never did anything wrong in their entire lives.
Do you think that they told their partners, or do you think that their partners had to find out? Because it takes a special kind of person to be like, you committed a school shooting when you were 11.
Oh, there are a lot of women out there, and like, well, at least women.
It's mostly women
who are just really weird and
like prison pen pal websites, and it's women that sign up to them. They're like, oh, he's cute.
Oh, hey,
I bet I could change him and rescue him. And it's like, baby,
you murdered how many women? Can I be your next one?
Like, what is wrong with you that you have to look for a man behind bars that literally can't go anywhere right now?
Like, it just boggles my mind, right? And like, you gotta think that a lot of these people, so like whoever married Carla Homolka, they gotta have an idea of who she was, because it's not like she changed very much. It's not like they're like, here's some plastic surgery before you get out of jail so you can go into life. Not like, we're just gonna change your name. That's all you're gonna get.
We know what you look like, Carla. You can dye your hair all you want.
Exactly. So like, you would think that people who are our age would know who Carla Homolka is, or older. Like, obviously they're older than us, because Carla, like, and Paul Bernardo were a lot older than us.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like I took a tour of the Kingston Penitentiary, which is where Paul Bernardo was, and I think he used to get a lot of letters from women wanting to be with him. And it's like, What? Like, why?
It was
like,
the same
what
with
is
Jeffrey
the...
Dahmer. It was the same with Charles Manson. It was this.
Yeah.
It's the same with every single like serial killer out there. There's a woman out there that's just like, you know, I know you might look at
Hey.
me and think, oh, she's soft and could be easily killed in 12 stabs. But I don't know why I just went Jennifer Coolidge there, but
Hold on, I'm
like the
trying to
4th
find the
of
thing that I
July.
sent you
Makes
earlier.
me
I'm
want a
trying to
hot
find the
dog
thing that I
real
sent.
bad.
Yeah, I'm trying to find this thing that I sent you earlier, and it's like, oh, here it is. This was yesterday. I thought it was earlier today. Oh no, it was Sunday. Was it Sunday? No, Monday. Okay, it was yesterday. So it was a meme that I saw, and I think I sent you TikToks kind of like this, and it's just kind of like a little joke at like the, but it it was the meme of the little chihuahua like kind of like looking like, hey.
Oh yeah.
And it's like 2 minutes after being kidnapped, and it's like me blushing. So what made y'all choose me? Like,
You
that's
really
the vibe that I get.
me? You want to kill me?
Little me, like you want to
You
be
could have picked
friends,
anybody,
like...
and you picked me.
And there's this girl that does these TikToks, and they're like, it's like the signs if they were kidnapped, and I think one of them had the had the Stockholm syndrome, where it's like, oh hey, what are we gonna do? Like,
Oh no,
want to be friends?
what are
Like,
you gonna do to me?
oh,
Oh,
I might like that, you know.
never mind. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done.
Like, I send those to you as a joke, but it's such a real thing that's out there, and it's like, and I send it because it's I don't know, it's funny in a way, but it's also not funny, because like there are people actually getting themselves into really dangerous situations just because they're like, oh well, you're kind of cute, and obviously I like a little bit of a bad boy or a bad girl, like, but listen, that's not the kind of bad boy or bad girl that you want to get involved with.
Have you seen prison TikTok? Have you come across? So I don't know
Probably
how.
not.
I don't know how, but there are so
Oh,
many inmates in
that
prison
have a cell phone and
that have
doing
cell
TikToks in
phones
jail.
and
I
TikToks.
I think I saw something. I haven't come across it, but I think I saw that on either Facebook or I don't know where I saw
Can
it. But
we
I
get
do know what you're talking
him on our podcast, because I am very interested in finding out how the hell they got that cell phone into prison.
I think it would be very hard for us to get them on our
They
podcast.
got a cell phone in prison. All they got to do, we could
True.
Give me your email address, prison inmate. I will send you the link to join our podcast.
Maybe we'll like hit them up on TikTok or something if we can.
I should scroll through TikTok and try and find one of the prison accounts and just be like, hey guys,
hey,
quick question. Would you happen to want to come on like a spooky crime assorted podcast that talks about everything, and would you like to be our guest host and just for like an episode, please? Do you get money from it? No, because we don't either. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Sign up for our Patreon, by the way. Oh my god, that's exactly it.
But
I think they would still do it. They're obviously making TikToks. They would definitely.
well, I mean, it would get there. But the thing is, like,
you don't have to show your face. We won't say where you are. Like, just talk to us. We don't want names. We don't want anything.
you can literally like Kermit the Frog your voice. Get one of your homeboys to like put a sheet in front of you so that we can't see you. But
or just
like,
don't turn your camera on. Like,
you don't even have you don't even have to turn your camera on, or just like put up a
Yeah.
picture of some like mysterious black silhouette, and we'll just be like, yeah, this is our homeboy. We found him on TikTok.
Yeah.
If anybody on TikTok,
he's our new friend.
If anybody on prison TikTok is watching this or listening to this, hit us up.
Yeah.
I have
And if you're not, we're gonna find you and hit you up. That sounds really bad, but we will.
If you're not, I'm gonna find out where you are. I'm gonna come to your prison. I'm gonna make you my prison pen pal, bitch.
Oh my gosh.
Just watch me, Ed Kemper. I'm coming for you. Ed Gein.
We'll have to go. We'll have to take a trip to Vaughan, Ontario.
John Wayne Gacy, I'm coming for you. They're all dead.
I'm sure Paul Bernardo has a phone somehow.
Paul Bernardo,
Let's hit him up.
Or
hey Paul, you want to chat?
Or not just Paul Bernardo. What's his name? Oh, Bobbitt. John Bobbitt.
We'll get somebody.
Can we get Loretta?
Maybe not somebody dangerous that's gonna come and kill us when they get out. But
if you are in prison for petty crimes, not murder, but like petty crimes, like you're like, you know,
like drug dealing, we're here for you, man.
Like possession, hit us up. We just want to know how you got your cell phone in there. That's it. Where'd you put it? Where'd you hide it? How far up your ass did you have to put that cell phone?
And how have you not been caught yet?
Seriously, do you not know that prison guards have TikToks, boys and girls? This is my.
Maybe they don't though. Maybe they don't.
My personal segment to all prisoners that are watching within prison walls on your illegal cell phones. How and why? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Well, I mean, it has to be worth it because you get to look at our gorgeous faces and hear our beautiful voices, but like, is it worth it? Where'd you put it? How far up did it have to go? How'd you get it back out? Did you have to poop it out? How'd you do it? I have questions.
I actually have a lot of questions too. Did somebody like smuggle it in for you? Like, did you get a relative or a friend?
I was gonna say conjugal visit, but not with a relative.
Well, you never.
Well, maybe in Arkansas.
It might have been a little easier to shove it up a vagina than it does a butt.
Yeah, but like, so if somebody shoved it up their vagina, the person that's receiving the cell phone still has to hide it to get it back into prison. So it would just slide out one hole and into another.
I don't know how it would work with conjugal visits because like you think that like because they're like, oh yeah, you have nothing on you, we made sure you don't have anything on you.
Do you think that the partners that are coming in for the conjugal visits have to do like a cavity search before their conjugal visit to make sure that there's nothing like shoved up their crevasses?
That's a good question. Anybody who has been on a conjugal visit, would you like to come on here too?
If there's anybody that's ever been on a prison conjugal visit, please let us know. Do they search your crevasses before you go in for your visit?
Do you get strip searched?
Do you got a squat cough?
A metal detector that you go through and your purse searched or belongings?
It's just one of those, okay, ma'am, I'm going to get you to strip down, put your hands against the wall. You're going to squat and cough hard, please. I need you to cough harder, ma'am.
I don't think you're coughing hard enough.
Ma'am, I need you to cough harder. All right, we got to search. So let me just pull on my gloves here.
Oh, we're awful people, man. We're awful.
I have genuine questions about how this works.
According to our past couple of episodes, we aren't the most awful people, but like,
I mean, we got questions. We're curious.
We're just curious. We're just really curious.
And you cannot tell me that there aren't people out there that are listening to this right now going, where do they put it? Like, how far up does it have to go for a guard not to feel it?
Like, how did they get it in there? You know, like, it's
did a prison guard bring it to them? Because that's drama.
Maybe.
Prison tea. Ooh, that should be an episode. Prison tea.
Yeah, we have like a regular like conversation with a prisoner like once a month. Hey, so what's the tea today?
Hey, what happened in prison this month? What's going on? What's happening? Oh, he got.
Are you okay? Are they feeding you? We mother them for a little bit. Are they feeding you? Are you eating enough? You better be eating your veggies.
Nobody's pegging you when you drop the soap in the shower, are they? Nobody's touching my boys behind, are they? Do I need to come in there and spank?
You did get that soap on a rope that we sent you, right?
You got the willy scrubber, right?
We'll take care of you.
I got you, baby. I'll send you the good dial. It's fine. Send you monthly care packages. Please don't kill me.
Exactly.
I will bribe you. I will make you cookies. I will send you cookies.
We're pretty good bakers, both of us. Obviously, we're pretty big ladies, but like.
So we might not be able to pay you, but I can pay you in love and cookies.
Exactly.
And maybe that's all you need.
And we can send like care packages. Like, you need some hand sanitizer, we'll send you some hand sanitizer.
You need some
Can they have hand
condoms?
sanitizer?
Are you afraid?
Condoms?
Do you need
What
plan
can you
B?
send people in the do you need tissues?
Do you need Lubriderm?
I can send you tissues.
You need some Lubriderm. You need some Vaseline. You need some KY jelly. That's what you need. I can send it.
We got you, homie.
I understand. I get what it's like. You can't just have them going in dry. Like, it's just, you gotta send the KY.
Ashley,
listen, it happens.
I get that.
I'm just trying to make the experience easier so they're not just spitting on it.
Oh, ew. What have we become? Like,
listen, so if there's anybody from prison TikTok and you seriously want to come on and just give us like monthly prison tea, I would so be down for like that segment once a month. That I think would just
and if people like it enough, it's gonna become our Patreon.
So if you guys, hey, listen, if you guys want prison tea, that sounds awful. Comes from the toilet. Wouldn't drink it if I were you. It came from Bubba's cell. Okay, we gotta stop. That's gonna be it for this episode. If you guys have any suggestions, you are more than welcome to email us. We will link that in the description.
Oh man, this hasn't been an episode. Also, check out our Facebook page for updates, as we may post polls on ideas for upcoming episodes, which I kind of have been doing a lot of posting, although it's been not this weekend. Like I said, we've been so busy with like holidays. You know how it is. Don't forget to also check out our Patreon. Please subscribe, because we really want to do some cool stuff for you guys on our Patreon. And like, we're obviously not going to do it now because we have nobody.
Nobody's there to do it for.
No,
but
because like Ashley messaged me earlier today while I was at work. Was I at work? I don't know where I was.
I think so.
I was probably at work. And she's like, "Oh, let's do this for an episode." But it's more, it's much better if you can see it visually than it is audio. And I would really like to have like, so it's like us reacting to like the scariest hauntings or whatever on video, and eventually we want to like, we'll probably get together a few times in the future and like hopefully go through like haunted houses, which I would love to do as well, but that again is very more visually pleasing than it is audibly pleasing. And so we would want to put it on our Patreon, and it's not like we're gonna let y'all down. Like, we're gonna be posting some great content for people who can see it and want to see it. And
we also are going to be working on uploading a little bit of an intro and outro song to our videos very soon. We're gonna start increasing our editing in the videos and in our audio quality. So things are going to start looking up very, very soon with the podcast, hopefully. And hopefully we start taking off a little bit more, because that would be fantastic.
Exactly. Like look at my camera quality, guys. I need a new camera.
We gotta help this girl. Look at her camera.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh boy. I did get a nice new mic, which I'm hoping is a lot more better this time around. I was playing around with it last time, so you probably didn't hear me as well, but hopefully you heard me a lot better today.
Yeah. A little less tunnely today.
Right. I think I was just too far away, and I also had the volume all the way down. Well, not all the way. Lies. I wasn't all the way down. Well,
and I think too, it was on your phone originally, and it was just not working with the phone. It was
no. by myself, sounded great.
But in recordings, it wasn't working.
Yeah, I think I was too close to a lot of technology for it. So it was like, meh. For you, I didn't hear anything. I was great. I was
You were
like,
great.
hey.
I had to I went through the audio after because I had to stop the last podcast. I was just like, wait.
Yeah.
Because this is awful. And then I went through and sent the audio to her and I was like, this is what I'm hearing. So we cannot. It was all through the recording. It was terrible.
It was really bad. Really, really bad. But yeah.
But
don't forget to check out those.
Yeah, and that is it. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us. Click that bell so you are notified when we post new videos every week.
And we will see you next week with a new nightmare. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.